You didn't lose yourself. Stop saying that. You hid her, and you hid her on purpose. And you were so good at it that all these years later, you can't remember where you put her. That empty feeling you keep calling, I don't know who I am anymore. That's not confusion, friend. That's a missing persons case, and you're the one who filed it. Today, we're going to find her. Before we get into that, I'm Roneshia, inner healing and deliverance coach. And if nobody has checked on you today, that's exactly why I'm here.
Tired of just surviving, ready to heal. Gotta take some action, do more than kneel. I kept blaming heaven.
As a woman who survived a toxic mother, abuse in the church, and rejection that ran so deep, baby, I got lost myself. I help women heal the wounds that they were told to keep secret. And today's wound is the quietest one of them all. The version of you that learned to disappear. Here's why I need you to stay for this whole video. You're successful. You're smart. You go to brunch. You book the trips. You answer, I'm good, like it is your job. And you still feel like an actress in your own life. Like there's a woman inside of you watching all of this play out, sitting from the back row. By the end of this video, you're going to know 3 things. When you disappeared, why it was the smartest thing you've ever done. Yes, I said smart. And how she comes back. Not a new you, the real one. If you have been waiting on a sign, hey girl, hey, it's me. I'm your sign. Now let's go find her. If you have not signed up already, I am hosting the Be Her experience. We hear a lot of people talking about becoming her, and I love it. That's cute. But why do we have to get stuck in the phase of becoming when we can just be? God told us to be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. Hello? So the Be Her experience, her is an acronym for healed, empowered, restored. It's only 3 days. It's going to be fire. It's all about your identity. Tap the link in my bio and go sign up immediately. Now let's jump into it. Okay, here's what nobody told you about disappearing. It was never weakness. It was intelligence. I want you to really think about this. A little girl can't pack a bag and just leave. Where's she going? Who's driving her? Or is she going to be like that little girl that drove herself to Target or something like that? Y'all remember that? She can't sit her mother down and say, hey, the way you're speaking to me is damaging my development. She's 7 years old. She has a book bag and a juice box, maybe some goldfish crackers. She has no options. So what does a smart child do when being fully her costs her connection? When her big feelings get met with a bigger reaction? When her needs make the adults in the room heavy? She edits. She learns which parts of her are welcome and which parts of her make the room go cold. She learns that agreeable gets love and honest gets consequences. And piece by piece, she puts the inconvenient parts of herself somewhere safe, somewhere nobody can punish them, mock them, or use them against her. You didn't shrink because you were weak. You shrank because you were smart enough to read the room, even at 7 years old. The problem is you're grown now. The room has changed, and nobody ever told your system that it was allowed to stop editing. Now let's talk about where a lot of this started. For many of us, it was the mother wound. Some of you may be dealing with the father wound. A lot of you reached out to me when I taught my class about surviving toxic mothers and said I was describing your father. I talk more about the mother wound because that's what I experienced. I don't have father wounds. So yeah, if you are someone dealing with the father wound, then put yourself in this, okay? So if your mother or father's mood decided the whole atmosphere of the house. If you walked in the door and had to check their faces before you checked anything else, you weren't being raised in some seasons. You were being recruited into managing a grown woman or man's emotions before you even understood your own. That is called parentification. You became her peace, her cheerleader, her therapist, and sometimes her target. And the child cannot carry her mother's emotional weather and develop her own identity at the same time. Something has to give. You gave you. And listen, let me say this part because I know some of y'all ready to click off like, well, my mama wasn't mean though. Like I said, some people, it could have been your daddy. Some people, maybe your mom and your dad was amazing. I love that for you. But the mother wound isn't always about having a cruel mother. Cruella de Vil. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's a mother who loved you so hard, there was no room for you to exist separately. I've seen that. I've worked with the women. It's like they overcompensate with their kids because of what they went through, trauma they experienced, what they didn't have. Let me tell you something that's not good either, but this video is not about that. You could have had the mother who over-identified with you, who needed you, whose love came with an unspoken contract. That one is harder to name because you feel guilty even calling it a wound. Let me tell you something. If you can't tell where she ends and you begin, that's not closeness, friend. That is enmeshment, wearing closeness as a Halloween costume. And you had the nerve to add accessories. So what does the disappeared version of you look like now as a grown woman with a career and a whole skincare routine? She looks like people pleasing, but you call it being nice. She looks like indecision. You can run a whole department at your job, but you need 3 people's opinions in order to pick out a couch. She looks like perfectionism because if you look flawless, nobody's going to take the time to look close enough to see that nobody's home. She looks like numbness, not sad, not happy, just managing. And here's the one that hurts. And you know your job title, your credit score, and everyone else's needs by heart. But if I asked you what you actually want, what you actually like, the honest answer is, wait, give me a minute. Hold on. I never thought about that. Crickets, you don't even know what you like. Why do I have to give you a minute for your own desires, for your own life? That's because somewhere along the way, you confused competence with identity. Being good at things is not the same as knowing who you are. Brace yourself for this. You can be excellent and empty at the same time. And a lot of us are proving this every single day. Yeah. Take a deep breath and keep watching. Real quick, if you've already seen yourself in this video 2 or 3 times, I need you to do me a favor. Drop something in the comments. Let me know the age where you learned to disappear. Some of you are going to be shocked at how young you were and how not alone you are. And if you're ready to actually do something about this, the Be Her experience is July 29th through the 31st. Healed, empowered, restored. The link is in the description. I'm also going to drop it in the comments. I'm going to get y'all right before the summer ends. Your kids go back to school. You go back into your regular routine, all of that. We're going to work on that identity, boo. All right, let's keep going because there's a cost to this that nobody names out loud. So this is the part that turns this from a self-help video into the truth. Under all that performing, there's grief. Baby, you are a mourning woman. Not a woman who died. A woman who never got to exist. The version of you with her own opinions, her own laugh at full volume, her own no. You never buried her, so you never grieved her. She just haunts you quietly while you're at brunch, while you're in Italy on vacation, right in the middle of your good life. And under that grief, rage. Some of y'all are not tired. You're furious. Furious that you had to earn what should have been free. Furious that you kept every rule, every single rule, and still got hurt. God, and don't get me started with the good church girl, which is what I was. Because the good church girls are not allowed to be furious, so we have to rename it. We call it being drained, and I'm just in a season. You're in a season that lasts in 20 and 30 years. No, friend. That is grief that has nowhere to go. And God isn't scared of it. He never asked you to perform for him. He's like, put all that stuff down and come to me. Let me bear your burdens. He didn't say it like that because God isn't prissy, but y'all know. So why hasn't it worked yet? Because you prayed. I know you prayed. You've journaled. You've listened to the podcast. You've said the affirmations in the mirror like a one-woman show. This is why it hasn't changed. The mask isn't being held on by your mindset. It's being held on by your nervous system. Your body learned decades ago that being fully seen equals danger. Danger. So every time, my bad, every time you try to speak up and be visible or you want something out loud, you want to take up space, your body starts pulling the alarm. Hello. Your heart is racing. Your throat gets tight. You feel like somebody's choking you. You get this overwhelming urge to just shrink back. I'm going to just shrink back. I'm going to play it cool and we'll smooth it over. This isn't some flaw in your character. This is your body's smoke detector that never got the memo. Hey, the fire was put out 20 years ago, boo. Why are you still dialing 911? This was never a faith problem. It was never a discipline problem. You cannot willpower your way out of a body that thinks safety means being invisible. The lever is not trying harder. The lever is teaching your body that it is safe to be seen, and that is learnable. So how does she come back? Not with some personality transplant. Healing is not becoming someone new. It's about uncovering what's been hidden. She comes back small at first. She comes back when you answer, where do you want to eat? You come back with an actual answer instead of, oh, I don't care. I'm going to just let you pick. I don't know. I'm indecisive. She comes back when you say the honest sentence out loud, even if your voice is shaking. She comes back when you allow your body to exhale for the first time in years and you don't apologize for it. Every preference you name is a rescue mission. Every boundary you keep is telling that little girl, hey, you can come out now. I've got us. But you don't have to do those rescue missions alone in the dark, just playing guessing games. That's exactly why I built what I'm about to tell you about. July 29th through the 31st, I am hosting the Be Her Experience. Healed, empowered, restored. We're going to be live 3 days building your identity back up. This is built for the woman who just watched this entire video and you were nodding the whole time. Day 1, we're going to find the version of you that disappeared. Day 2, we're going to deal with what buried her. And day 3, we're not just going to talk about the woman you're becoming. We are going to introduce you to her. There's a general experience and there's a VIP experience. Everything you need is in the description. Registration is going to close. I may close it a few days before we start. I don't know. Because some of y'all like to wait until the very last minute. You all have got to stop procrastinating. The women who always wait for the right time, I'm waiting for the right time to heal. That's why you're still stuck, boo. You're the same woman who's going to be watching this video 5 years from now, doing nothing but circling the same mountain. You could have signed up for the halfway healed experience I just did last week. That was amazing and brought the women inner healing and deliverance. Stop procrastinating. Don't be her. Be her. The link is right below this video and I'll see you there. And hey, remember, if nobody has checked on you today, I did.
I kept blaming heaven for what still bled in me, but the bruises had a name and they came from deep. So I let it surface, I let it speak. Hands open now on my bend knees. It was never